What is the most NSFW thing you have witnessed at a party? Friend hired a prostitute for his day party and she proceeded to bang any guy who wanted it. None of them even knew. They all thought she was some chick who was visiting from Georgia. They still tell the story like she wasn't a prostitute. When I was still in college, I was at a sorority party with my then girlfriend. A woman, probably a freshman, was on the floor. Ass up. Pants and panties to her ankles. Funnel in her ass and people were pouring shots in her asshole. I was too high, drunk and stupid back then to realize that this could easily have killed her and I just left the room with my GF. Had this happened today, I definitely would have intervened. But back then I was just like, whoa dude. She lived. So it's all good. At a high school house party back in 2012. This one girl got so cross-faded, drunk and high, and I accidentally walked in on her in the restroom. She was peeing on the floor right next to the toilet. Like, straight up. Had her pants and panties around her ankles, hands on her knees, and was just letting loose. She didn't seem embarrassed by me witnessing this, but she said she didn't want to contaminate clean water, and that someone might wanna drink that. That was one of my more confused boners. Watched a guy lose at beer pong and get mad enough that he turned around and punched the first thing he could land his hand on, which turned out to be a window. In the movies, if you break a window, you don't get hurt. In real life, if you slam your fist through a window, a falling glass cuts you so deep you practically amputate your own hand. There was so much blood that we thought that was what happened. We thought he sliced his hand off. One of the sober partiers rushed him to the hospital while the rest of us just left because the scene involved so much blood and gore that none of us even wanted to party anymore. He ended up okay. Has a gnarly scar for the rest of his life. But at least he didn't actually lose his hand. My girlfriend and I watched two guys frick her best friend in a shower. It was just that kind of party. If your girlfriend's best friend wants to show you and your girlfriend something like this, I'm pretty sure you could put together a three-way. Back in high school, friend had an open house and threw a party. Uncle came to check on us, and we found him smelling a girl's vomit in the bathroom and playing with himself. That's one fricked up fetish. Partying in the barracks. My room had all the beer in the fridge. I was going down on this girl when I felt a hand on my left shoulder. Briefly paused to look up when my buddy says, "Kikestant, you're doing a great job. I just needed to grab a beer." I went right back to what I was doing. At a party in a huge house on the lake that had a second living room upstairs. Walking up the stairs I can hear all this commotion going on. As I enter the room there is this guy smashing a chick on the couch. Doggy style. Right there in front of everyone. He was getting high fives from other guys and people were just standing around watching and cheering. Well, a few years later, I get married and at Thanksgiving dinner with my in-laws when my brother-in-law brings his new girlfriend to meet the family. You guessed it. It was her. Same girl that was getting smashed on the couch. Well, he ended up getting married to this girl and now every time I see them at a family get together all I can see is the image from that night at the lake. Dude ran to the bathroom. Yelled, "I got a sh*t." Then pulled his pants down. Sat his ass on the toilet. And puked on the floor in front of him. Realizing his mistake, he stood up. Faced the toilets to puke. And shat on the floor behind him. Work friend of a friend. Pouring this girl triple JD and cokes all night. Then volunteering to take her upstairs and put her to bed. She was visiting and staying over at the house. She could barely stand or talk so me and two others noped this pretty hard. Told the guy to frick off and got the owner of the house who she was staying with to see that she was alright. A girl was proud that she could fit a 1.25 Coke bottle in her vagina. Everyone was like, "Yeah. Cool. That's kind of weird to tell everyone." And everyone carries on. About 3 hours later everyone is fricked up and the party is getting a bit weird. Some people had taken acid. Some had dropped some marcaps. Some were smoking weed. Standard stuff. This girl is off her face on Mdma and is adamant about wanting to show everyone how cavernous her vagina is. So she takes her skirt off and readied herself. Then proceeds to put a 1.25 Coke bottle halfway inside herself. Everyone was shocked but fascinated. She was so proud. She wasn't so proud the following week at school when everyone called her Cola Candice. Happened at my house. Girl came over. Got way too drunk, took off all her clothes and started masturbating on my stairs and then on the couch and then back on my stairs. Then she fell down said stairs. We tried putting her to bed before all this went though. But she kept coming back out. Each time with less and less clothes on. Eventually we all just kinda ignored her and let her do her thing. I was about 18 and at a friend's gathering party. Said friend's mum came home from her date drunk. Followed me into the bathroom and wrapped her hands around my DCK and tried to go down on me. This would be like an ultimate fantasy if she was hot. But sadly not. Still not told him. That was the time a girl took off her pants and squatted onto a Smirnoff Ice bottle and proceeded to pleasure herself with it and pose for pictures. I was at a Halloween party in the last year of high school, where two friends of mine had a threesome with a girl in the bathtub while one other girl watched. That's how my friend lost his virginity. I've been to a couple of parties where a few people decided it would be a good idea to throw decorum to the wind and start fricking in the backyard. Most of us gathered round to watch. But on one occasion, a few others joined in. Watched a girl drink a beer bottle full of PSS. My friend thought it would be hilarious to PSS in a bottle and put it in the fridge. A girl who was smashed picked it out the fridge and then drank some. She shouted, "This tastes like PSS." Then proceeded to take another sip. Never drink an open bottle of beer left in the fridge at a party, people. Edit. My inbox is full of PSS. We have this monthly team party which goes after our office shifts. My super drunk colleague started sending DCK pics to our team's Skype group conversation. All along he thought he was using the Messenger app. Had an outside party at an old house of mine where a rando passed out on his side in the middle of the driveway. The 8 or so friends he'd come with all let him sleep and the party continued around him. Eventually someone yells my name and points at the passed out fella who's managed to get his DCK out and start peeling while still on his side. At this point everyone outside has stopped what they were doing to gasp at this turn of events. After a while he begins to slowly lean backwards and the arc of PSS gradually goes higher and higher into the air. Finally he makes it all the way onto his back and the angle of his pecker is just right so that the remaining PSS hits him right between the eyes. Half the party was disgusted and unimpressed. But the rest had plenty to bond over for the rest of the night. TL. DR passed out dude pieces on his own face in front of an audience. Edit. Everyone asking if this was in their city is hilarious. Y'all are fricked up. When I was a sophomore in high school, a girl I know invited me to a party she was throwing at her house. In hindsight I realized she had a crush on me. In high school, I did not party at all, nor drink, but I was curious so I decided I would go. I get to this party and the eventual valedictorian of our class was dancing topless on a glass table, barefoot. A split second after I notice this, her weight causes the table to collapse and shatter. Since I was the only even remotely sober person at the party, I was tasked with dealing with the fallout. Thankfully, it was relatively tempered and the shards weren't particularly small or sharp. And she wasn't too badly injured. We were at a house party and this drunk guy got on the roof. Everyone wanted him to jump into the pool so he did. Breaks an ankle in the process when he missed. Seen two blokes trying to get a girl into bed, not at the same time. The one who actually did came back after and threw the used condom in the other bloke's face and says, "Smell what you could have won." Final year of high school. At a party where everyone was really wasted. Like the stupid drunk you got before you understood limits. One girl couldn't handle it anymore. So she pulled her jeans down and started masturbating on the couch in front of everyone. looked dark and I don't know if everyone really noticed. Wasn't like those videos where everyone stands around cheering, but then the dad who owned the place walked in and it got kind of awkward. Good party. A while back I was too young to be at a party and this girl ran out of one of the kitchen buck naked, started twerking on the wall. Her boyfriend rushed into the room, literally picked up his GF and started to carry her to his car. The whole time they were walking to the car she kept yelling about how she couldn't wait for the DCK tonight. I was 14 visiting my 19 years old cousin. I wasn't ready. Posted before but still NSFW NSFL. Darwin Award. Guy that I knew of in high school thought that because he was gangster, he knew how to handle a gun. Grabs a revolver from the home and tries to cowboy gunslinger it by spinning it on his finger. He got 1 or 2 rotations in and bang. 1. 38 round right to the empty space between the ears. Party died just as fast as he did. Went to a topless party in college. As in a party where guys and girls were shirtless. After doing a jello shot off of a stranger's boobs, I told my friends a few doors down about the party. They arrived just as most of the girls went into a back room to get high. And a big bearded man decided to show off his Jacob's ladder by making it a bottomless party. My friends didn't trust me for a while after that. Some chick was having a house party while her parents were out of town and she was in her teens. Invited like half the school. She was a typical stuck-up BTCH that didn't really have real friends, just a bunch of fake ones. Anyways, this one guy is having a good time being reasonable and she doesn't like him, so she has a bunch of people just starting to treat him like shitty. He then gets told to leave and he's like, I gotta use the bathroom first. And there is currently all bathrooms occupied, so she tells him to leave, he can't use the washroom. The dude then said, oh there's a urinal here, and proceeds to punch a hole in the wall and pieces in it. Edit. Added a few words. Double quote. Her parents. Some dude passed out in the corner of this apartment party and there was a dude crouched over him trying his hardest to shitty on his head. He couldn't do it, so nothing happened, but I wondered if I should have told the passed out guy what he tried to do. But then again, if someone tried to shitty on my head when I was passed out, I wouldn't want to know about it. In a nightclub one time, I saw a man, probably late 20s early 30s, drop his jeans and proceed to diarrhea shitty all over the floor. Never going back to that club. I went to a party in college and made my way to the beer pong table. Teamed up with this cute chick I worked with and we proceeded to run the table. I was absolutely on fire and managed to skunk pretty much everyone at the party. House rule was if you get skunked you have to remove 1 article of clothing for every round you played. Needless to say, me and my partner were the only ones fully clothed by the end of the night. It was actually pretty terrible because all I wanted was to see my co-workers' tits. I wish I hadn't come into this so late. I threw a party at my house and a bunch of people from another school that I didn't know showed up. One guy came wearing a Hulk mask and those giant Hulk gloves. He ended up fricking this chick on my pool table. Still wearing his outfit. Chanting, "Give it to the Hulk. Give it to the Hulk. TLDR Hulk smash."